Good morning. Welcome back. It might be nice to have a pillow nearby today. We're going to work on some twisting, and you may also want some support later, like a chair. For me, I'm not super flexible in the morning, so it's nice if I have like a chair or blocks, or even if it's just like the edge of a couch or your bed or something nearby. So you can start in your whatever your comfortable meditative posture is. So that could be lying on your back, or standing even, or sitting, so that you have some alignment between your head, your heart, and your base. Drawing your awareness onto your breath. Your eyes can be closed or open. And today's quote for today is from the writer Jason Reynolds. The thing about anti-racism that sits at the core of who I am is that I should never have to make myself feel small for everyone else to feel comfortable about my existence. Self-actualization is at the core of an anti-racist world. So I invite you, if you're not already there, to work your way onto your back with your knees bent and the bottoms of your feet on the floor. I'm going to read our quote one more time as we move into our physical practice. The thing about anti-racism that sits at the core of who I am is that I should never have to make myself feel small for everyone to feel comfortable about my existence. Self-actualization is at the core of an anti-racist world. Jason Reynolds. That last sentence, self-actualization is the core of an anti-racist world, for me is so just really resonant with practicing, right? Practicing yoga, meditation, and other contemplative practices that allow us to really get in touch with where and who we are, whose we are, who we come from. Okay, so on the back, we're going to take a twist today. So hips to one side, knees and feet to the other side, arms towards maybe a T shape, or maybe you rest one arm down on the legs. And then your choice, you could stay here. If you've been with us this week and you did the arm circles earlier in the week and you want to circle your arm around, you can do that. I'm just finding a nice easy twist. The chin can move in the opposite direction of your legs. And that just goes in this natural curvature and spiral of your spine, as well as it helps the opposite shoulder to soften down. And then just a couple deep breaths there. As you're ready, you can move yourself back to center. If you want to stay longer, you can. I could always stay in that pose for a really long time. Hips to one side, knees and feet to the other. If you're feeling tight in your back, a pillow between the knees or underneath the knees is fine as well. Arms towards something where the opposite arm reaches out. T-like shape, or the elbow could be bent. And then chin in the opposite direction of the knees. And then this is a pose that gets deeper by just relaxing and releasing into gravity. So just allowing yourself here to soften. Allowing that opposite shoulder to let go towards the floor. And then a couple more deep breaths. Okay, when you're ready, you can roll yourself over to one side. Bring yourself back up to sit. And then sitting comfortably, however it feels right to you, just you can spend a moment just kind of opening your side body. So that could be a side bend. It could also just be interlacing your fingers, reaching your hands upwards and kind of doing a circle with the torso. But just kind of noticing how you feel in there. I always feel like I unstick my ribs a little bit when I twist that way, and that's so nice. Oh, we'll just spend a moment here in transition. Just further getting the ribs and the shoulders to open up a little bit. Ooh. All right, we're going to move ourselves in the next 3 to 5 breaths towards standing. So however you want to get there, you could take a downward facing dog. You could just step yourself right up. You can take your time. All right, and then once we're standing, we're going to do some similar stuff to what we did yesterday. So we'll start by, I think this was yesterday, opening just the back of the leg. So I'm going to use a chair to support me, and then I'm just going to hinge myself forward at my hips, keeping my spine nice and long. If you're really flexible in the morning and you want to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and bring your hands down, could be on the chair, could be all the way to the floor, you can do that. then the idea here is just to stay gentle on your hamstring as you're opening. All right, when you're ready, you can just switch yourself right over to the other side. So I like to come upright for a moment, or maybe you step your foot forward if you're hanging over the legs and touching onto the floor, and then switching to the other side. If you're standing, keeping a long spine as you hinge forward. If your feet are on the floor, you have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back, and your hands come down, and that makes you round your spine a little bit, that's okay. Oh. And then some deep breaths here. Imagining that you can open the body with the breath. So instead of pulling or tugging, the breath is just creating some spaciousness in the muscles. All right, when you're ready, you can step out of that, either hanging over the legs or coming up to stand. I'm going to flip my chair around here, and I'm going to take a twisted lunge pose. So I'm going to step 1 foot back, my front knee is bent, my back leg is straight. Again, if you're really flexible in the morning, your hands could come all the way down onto the floor. I'm going to just bring my right now my left forearm is on the chair because my right foot is forward. And I'm going to take a twist here towards my right thigh and then reach my right arm up towards the sky. Usually if you're pregnant, you don't want to be doing a closed twist here, so you'd want to go the opposite direction. And then my back leg, I can feel is just really strong. My front knee is bent, and that really starts to get into the openness of my hips. And then notice what's happening in your top arm. And if you're like really wrenching your arm and your shoulder back, can you like let that soften a little bit, right? Yeah, a twist doesn't have to come from like really using the upper body. All right, just one more breath. Okay, when you're ready, you can step yourself back through center, whatever that means to you. Maybe that's downward facing dog. Maybe that's stepping forward towards the chair. Maybe that's hanging over the legs. Just take a breath in between. And then coming to the other side, other foot forward. I've got my left foot forward. I'm crossing my right forearm across the chair. I'm going to keep my spine nice and long here as I float my left shoulder up towards the sky. Again, not with the energy of wrenching my arm back, but the arm is just an extension of the twist in my shoulders. And if it starts to feel like too much, you can bring that hand down or rest it on your thigh. And breathing there, inhaling. And exhaling. All right, when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to something in between. That could be a downward facing dog, that could be hanging over the legs, that could just be coming up to stand. And then just coming into just a neutral place with your spine, where the head is still in alignment with the heart and with the base. You can take a couple of breaths there. Thanks everybody, happy Sunday.